What's up, fellow journeyers? Today we're taking you through real life in our 25-foot motorhome, and along the way we'll be answering your burning questions. Questions like, what mileage does the motorhome get? What about alone time? Do you tow anything behind the motorhome? And if so or if not, why? Laundry, separate spaces, setting up camp, shower time, seatbelts, engine noise. This video is gonna be packed with real life and real answers to your questions. It's time to let go and get going. Family's just now actually starting to wake up. We're gonna go in, we're gonna start our day with you, and we're gonna answer these questions. Okay, they're still asleep. I thought they're waking up more than that. All right, we'll wait a few minutes, and then we're gonna go in, and we're gonna answer questions with you. Okay, so everybody's up, and these questions are all over the board.
Thank you guys so much. We reached out on Instagram, Facebook, our YouTube community, Patreon, Team Journey, and you guys gave us some amazing questions. Your burning questions and your comments mean so much to us. We appreciate it. And you guys gave us some tough questions like these.
And we will get to that one at the end. But to start with, our first question, Erdessa Airstream asks, do either the parents or the kids miss having more of a separate private space? Also, how long do you think you could live in a smaller RV like that before you miss your larger one? We missed our larger one probably the first night, honestly. So that answers that second one pretty fast. 4 to 6 weeks for us is kind of like the max.
That's our sweet spot.
Yeah, for right now. And but that could change. That could be longer, it could be shorter. It kind of varies, but that's where we're floating at right now. And then the other question about the living space, we kind of have separate living spaces. We've got our bedroom in the back, which we'll talk about the curtain. This space here, which can be a dinette or a bed. We've got Hensley's space up top, and then we've got the office up front. So kind of 4 living spaces, but let's face it, it's all very tight, and we can't do it for a super long amount of time. Living Our American Dreams asks, how do you keep your kids from falling off the overhead bed? We have kiddos who sleep like drunk octopuses. I don't know what that. It's kind of a funny. All right, show me what you think a drunken octopus would look like if it was in the bed. So this, I guess, yes. So they'd be dangling out of the bed. We've been blessed. Hensley is not like a drunken octopus. She does not fall out of the bed. However, this kid right here is like a drunken octopus. He would fall out of the bed. So for me, if you have a situation like this, well, our answer was we split the kids and JJ's down here, and that gives them more sleeping space. And this actually, and we'll show you later, this converts super fast as far as converting this.
In the past, for Class C's, we would either put like a pool noodle under the fitted sheet so it creates like a barrier, or even lift it, like elevate it with like some kind of pillow.
On the Viva, I created something, and I'll show the clip here in a second, but I created something that will create like a net barrier.
So we've got on each side, I've got this bracket that comes up like this.
Get it?
So JJ sleeps on this side close to this net, and this keeps him from falling out.
Karen asked, do you really have to put everything away every time you move the RV, and how much of a pain is that? Considering that you might only be moving to get groceries to the local town and coming back to the same camping spot. Now packing up, and we do this like every 1 to 2 days. So it's a lot of packing up, a lot of moving. And somebody will be like, oh my goodness, so much moving around. It doesn't take as long as you think. Like I even time myself doing this. Here's the water, electric, sewer, like it can be done fast. So less than 2 minutes to do that. And then as far as the inside, what we have to do to pack up, JJ's bed needs to be converted back to a dinette, and we'll time that as well. That was so fast. So this is now a dinette. We're ready to go. Then we also have to pack up the ladder. Our ladder goes up there. This folds up. I mean, I don't know how long this has been. This couldn't have been more than like 2 or 3 minutes. If you're not good at putting things away and you don't want to put things away, it could take longer. But we've gotten pretty good, and everything goes back to its place each night. The kids pick up their stuff, and so that when it comes time to pack up and leave in the morning, we can do it in like less than 10 minutes. Place for everything.
Everything has its place.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
all Nathan's rules. We do. Even with our kids, we really try to, practice, especially once they're playing with something, when they're done, put it away. And then that makes the packing up process so much easier.
Nancy asks, could you or would you flat tow Marissa's Jeep again? And then Debbie asks, are you guys pulling a toad? I don't recall seeing one. If not, do you unhook just to go to dinner and get groceries? And then Ken Tammy Wilkerson asked, I was wondering if it's a pain to set up camp, then you decide to go to a store. All right, so let me see if I can answer all these questions in one probably pretty pitiful drawing. I'm going to call it trailer travel mindset versus small motorhome mindset. So with the fifth wheel trailer, travel trailer, with that kind of mindset, well, let's say you're going to go from point A to point B. And then where you decide to stay for point B is determined by what's around point B. Usually like, let's say an hour and a half or less seems to be kind of where people are at. So you travel from A to B, and then you go out and you see all these destinations. So there's something to see here, 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 here. And you set up camp at B. And then one day you maybe travel an hour here, travel 30 minutes here. Maybe another day you go 30 minutes here and 30 minutes here. And then another day you travel maybe an hour and a half here. And so you spend maybe a week or so, maybe 2 weeks even, in this area parked. It's like your home base almost. And you're just like hitting these destinations from where you're parked. That's how we travel in our fifth wheel, basically, is I'm going to call it like the wagon wheel trailer mindset. The small motorhome mindset, however, is different. So you start at Dest A. Let's say you want to get to destination B. So over here, you kind of had B. That's where you're going to park. But you've got B1, B2, B3, B4, B5. So same thing. You got, let's say, B1, B2, B3, B4, B. You got all these spots you want to hit, just like you did in a trailer. But the way it works in a small motorhome is you don't go to the middle. You figure out what route works best based on how you want to go. And here's probably the coolest thing with what I'm about to show you. I have B1, B2, B3, B4, B5, and that's what you probably do in a trailer in a week. You could do up to B10 in a motorhome because of this hack with what you can do with a small motorhome. So because you can set up and take down in like 10 minutes instead of 60 minutes, which really, you know, you double it and that's 20, that's 120. So you're talking like 2 hours when you set up and take down each time, 20 minutes over here when you set up and take down, maybe even faster. So here's how it works with a motorhome. The route looks more like this. So you cruise in maybe to B5. Maybe it takes a whole day or a half a day. Maybe it just takes a couple hours. And you say, you know what, let's keep going. Let's hit B1 here. And you say, hey, you know what, let's keep going. Let's hit B2. And you know, so you might hit 1, 2, 3 of these in one day, instead of it taking you a whole day over here. Because every time you're going to one of the wagon wheel or spoke destinations, it's taking you a minimum of an hour, possibly 2 hours or 3 hours if it's an hour and a half away. So you're going an hour and a half there, hour and a half back. And so this is so cool. You don't have the down and backs anymore, the spoke over here. You just go to a spot, go to a spot, go to a spot, go to a spot, go to a spot. And you're like, that sounds great, Nathan, but where do I stay? Well, here's the thing. We had no reservations coming into Glacier National Park. We're like 2-3 days out, looking for cancellations, grabbing these one-night reservations. It is not hard to grab a cancellation or one-night reservation in a 25-foot motorhome. I'm not saying to travel like that. You could still have reservations and still use the same concept and have places booked, but just book them along the way. You can see 2 or 3 things in a day. You, instead of booking the one place where you spoke out and you're going back and forth all the time, you book maybe 3 places or 4 places for one night, and you got, trust me, you can get better campsites. You have more options because you're shorter. So to come back around, hopefully answer the question. Are we towing behind the Lineage? No. And the irony is we have a 4-door Jeep sitting at home that we could put behind. Maybe we didn't want to tow anything. When we went to California in the Mini Winnie, it's 25 feet as well, Class C. We started with the Jeep and then the Jeep broke down. And so we were forced to go for a while without the Jeep, nothing behind us. And Marissa was converted. She saw firsthand the difference in travel we could have between towing something behind a small motorhome and not towing something behind a small motorhome. She saw the difference in how fast we could travel, what we could do, how much easier it was, how we could park. We didn't have to unhook and hook up the Jeep and worry about the length of the spot anymore. Like, we're just looking for spots that are like 25 feet, you know, maybe even 24, 23. We can hang off. Like tent sites. We can't do that in the Jeep because we have 2 vehicles at that point. So all this, it comes down to, it is our opinion. If you have a motorhome around this size, 23, 24, 25 feet, where you could back into a spot, you could possibly park at a tent site, you could possibly do some of these things, we don't think you should tow. Like, I just don't. Avoiding the wagon wheel kind of travel planning where you're going back and forth all the time, because once you have a vehicle behind you, that's what you're going to do. We don't think it's worth it. The advantage of this, the reason for this, to me, is because you can zigzag and do what you want when you want to do it. When you leave your campsite, if you can take down in 10 minutes, you leave, you have everything with you. It doesn't matter if you come back to that campsite anymore. It's so strange, I know. Like, it took us like 2 months to figure this out. Once we leave our campsite, it doesn't matter if we come back to that same campsite or not, because it's the same amount of time no matter what. So once we leave, we don't have to backtrack. We just keep on going.
Rocky and Kathy Miller asked, do you miss your washer and dryer? The answer is yes and no. A fifth wheel, absolutely. I don't know if I could do it without my washer and dryer on board. But in something small like this Class C, we filmed a little hack for you to show you how we do laundry on the road. So one of the ways we do laundry without having a washer and dryer on board is we'll strategically stop at a campground that has laundry along our route if we know it's time to do laundry. I've been doing laundry about once a week in the Lineage, so it's not too bad. So we can stop at a campground, have hookups for the night, do our laundry. Or the other option is, we're so small, we'll just pull right into the laundromat.
There we go. Take that to Mom and we're good to go. Great job, Hensley.
Does that look tired?
Good job. Appreciate your help. Adrenaline Junkie 90 asked, what is it like moving around with all the slides in with 4 people trying to walk around? Well, first of all, hopefully there's never 4 of us walking around. So if 4 of us are walking around at the same time, this is probably our last video you'll ever see because there's always got to be a driver. But we typically try to stay in our seats as much as possible. But let's be honest, the reason you have a drivable is for those moments of flexibility, whether you've got to go to the restroom or get up to do certain things, then get back in your seat. So typically we ride with our seatbelts on, riding down the road. But I'm going to show you what it's like to get up if you need to. Yeah, as you can tell, sometimes it's like a boat. It depends the road. If the road is bumpy, curvy. If we're going through a city and it's high traffic or it's a curvy area, then I do not get up. But when we're heading down a straight area, if I need to go to the restroom, the kids are like, hey, I'm ready for lunch. So I'm gonna get up quickly, I'm gonna get them their lunch, and then we go back and we sit down in our seats. Yeah, they love their play area back here. All right, I am able to access the fridge while going down the road. Just be careful when you open it because you never know what's gonna like fall on you and come. Okay, that was smooth. Usually it's like everything's like in the refrigerator. Hensley has asked for me to heat up something, so that's another good thing. I can start the generator as we're going down the road, and then if I need to use the microwave, I can heat stuff up as we're going as well. So this is with the slide in. You are able to access the bathroom going down the road, which is a huge plus. Huge plus. Most everything can be accessed going down the road. I would say the only space that can't be accessed, obviously, is our bed is folded up going down the road. Tara J. Tripp asks, are there enough seat belts for 5? There are 4 seat belts in this Class C. There are 2 on this forward facing. There are none on this seat here, and then there are obviously 2 in the front. I would say you could add seat belts here too. I mean, check with your manufacturer. Hollywood Happenings 1 says, how do you prevent things from like falling and shifting? He uses bungee cords. I have seen a lot of people use bungee cords, which is a great option. Even in their fridge, people will put like tension rods to keep things from falling down. So you can do that. One of the cool things in here is they have like the touch buttons. So like it's locked. So like if we need to access our things and then we lock it, we haven't had anything like fall out of the cabinets, or, you know, things will shift around a little bit. I do like in the pantry, it's like got the drawers. For instance, like it's not going to shift around too much with the drawers, which is super helpful. So honestly, things haven't fell out because of our locks. Is it comfortable riding in here?
Yes.
We got asked, is it comfortable for our kids riding in the dynamic? These kids have had a blast. I mean, we've had some long travel days, right? But we're traveling with our home. You got your toys. We've played tons and tons of Uno games. JJ and his Pokemon and Legos. We just have to make sure these don't get caught under our slide every time.
I can see the view.
And you can see the view. JJ loves the views, don't you, buddy?
Okay, driving questions. The first one is from White Horse Foo.
What kind of mileage are you getting? And how does it handle in windy conditions?
Okay, mileage obviously can vary, but I would say we're going to average around 14. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to list almost every RV we've owned and how it towed and what the conditions were and what the mileage is. I'm going to put in a nice neat table for you so you can sort of compare this to others. But I will say, overall, this has gotten the best mileage out of anything we've driven.
Susan asked, is it noisy while driving? I know our Class A sure is. We lived in a motorhome for over a year, and I would say our motorhome was noisy. So our Class A motorhome, I get you, Susan, ours was noisy as well. It's not as quiet as when we're riding in our truck, right? Because there's just more going on in the vehicle. But it is, I would say, it's pretty quiet in here. I think that is the benefit of riding in a Class A or a motorhome, is you do hear the noises, which can be a little noisy, but at the same time you know what's going on in your RV. When we're in the truck, we don't hear anything, and then we kind of show up and we're like, well, let's see what happened on all those curves we just took.
So we got a lot of questions about like our bedtime routine inside the RV, which rightfully so. It's a small space with a lot of people in it. So Rick Dokos asked, how do you work out bath shower time with your family? Does everyone take turns, or do some do morning and others do evening? I don't take showers and the kids don't take showers. Marissa takes 2 a day, so that's kind of...
I make up for everyone. No. All of us like to take our showers at night, mostly because I have this thing where I cannot sleep going to bed dirty, and I don't want anybody going to bed dirty. Like, we all need showers before we get in bed, and I know you're either like a morning shower to wake up or a night shower.
Well, you do both, actually.
Yeah, if I have hookups, if I need to wash my hair, I want to do that in the morning, but I cannot go to bed dirty. Please tell me I'm not alone. Like, comment, are you a morning shower or a night shower person? Am I like weird that I cannot go to sleep unless I've had a shower?
Kissy?
You got mustard all over your shirt. You need a shower. Hope that comes out.
Are you ready?
Oh, kisses. Oh, kisses for the camera.
Kissy.
Kisses for daddy?
Aw, you're so
And the ear.
Ear? What does that mean? Oh, you're kissing my ear. Oh, that's kind of weird. This has been pretty simple. I like it. So it's got it's like a little lever underneath here. You just flip this. All right, push it down, buddy. Can you push it down?
Ready?
What's next, JJ?
Take these.
So this is the proto model, and I'll show you why in a minute. Proto meaning we're testing and giving feedback on things as we go along for you and future buyers. So these actually don't fit very well. So when you pop them in, but the new one will. I've already seen the picture. It's awesome. It kind of comes up in the middle. Woo! So he has to hold it down. Hold it down. Mommy's gonna come in. Hold it down, quick. Oh no. Ready? And hold it down. Here comes mommy. Quick. And this blanket's heavy enough, it just... it works.
Handled it.
Handled it. What next? What about your stuffies? Do we have all your stuffies, buddy?
Yep.
Here, who's this?
Henry.
Henry, though?
Jackie. Licky.
Licky. Accumulating stuffed animals. We have to keep up with. W. Phillips 44 says, love the mobility of the unit, but can't wrap my head around the sleeping space. Could it work comfortably for someone over 6 feet tall? So first thing we're gonna do, Marissa is 5'9", and she's gonna show us, oh, you think you're going back there? No, she's gonna show us what somebody 5'9" looks like on this bed. I think we had a comment somewhere, we didn't pull it. Somebody said, I wanna see what it's like with an adult sleeping here.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Pretty tight.
I don't know. Well, yeah.
I could sleep on this.
Okay. So if you're 6
I'm
feet, you're probably gonna have to angle a little bit or something, I would think, or sleep with your knees bent, it looks like.
I always sleep with my knees bent anyway.
But probably what he's really asking about is this bed. This is the same size bed as what we have in our fifth wheel. It's a king bed. If you're 6 feet, I don't think you're gonna have any issue sleeping on this bed. I really don't. Like I'll put the dimensions on the screen. I think it's 70 by 80. That space definitely works. What do you think about your space up here?
So spacious when JJ's not lying right here.
So you like it better without JJ up there, huh?
Yeah.
Do you want to show your, I guess we could show your curtain, right? You like your curtain when it's up? To separate some of these spaces out, we've got 2 different curtains. 3 curtains technically, so we got 2 of these that can go all the way across. Just sort of pops up like this. Just literally just magnetized, and then when you're done, you can just yank it down if you want to. Okay, lightning round. First question. A Canadian says, does it come wired with satellite, dish, and Starlink? I know it doesn't come with Starlink, as far as I know. It does come with this, which is like a WineGuard gateway, where basically you can connect multiple devices and get like cell signal type data going down the road. Adventure is uncertainty. I like that. 1061 says, do you get tired of coordinating a place to stay while RVing? Seems like a lot of RV lots are full. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's lightning round, so I could just say yeah and move on, but basically yeah.
It does get exhausting.
And this is easier. The shorter you are, the easier it is to get into things. Massman83 says, does it just become a major hassle having to completely clean up the sleeping areas every day just to have enough living space? Now we touched on this a little bit. I think a lot of this is just like once you get a routine,
yeah,
and you're doing it every day or two, it's not a big deal. But if you park your RV for weeks at a time and you've got this massive pile of things to do, it becomes overwhelming and it takes an hour plus to get in and get out, like it's a bigger deal. It's
the longer you're sitting,
yeah,
the more it is to clean up. And because we're moving so often, it's just quick. It's part of our daily routine. It was already picked up from the day before, so it's not as big of a deal as it was like traveling longer periods in our larger rig.
Testers BC1 says, how hard would it be on disabled, uses a walker, to enter and move around a Class C? I mean, if the slide's out, I think you could get a walker around here. Now, it might be tight, again, around this bed area over here. But I would, if you're using the walker to move around in the RV, I would probably go for a larger space. I mean, I think you've got part of this space is okay, but part of it's pretty tight. It would be difficult in the walker, I would think. There are some companies like Winnebago and some of them, they design entire RV layouts for if you're in a wheelchair or a walker, like they have a lift from driving the RV to getting in the RV on the side, like the whole thing is designed for that. It's pretty neat. We've seen it before. Corey Killstrom's asks, national parks, do you have a preference? Fifth wheel or small all-in-one vehicle, pros and cons of each?
100% small vehicle. Like the things we've been able to see and do in the Class C are just like, doesn't even compare to the fifth wheel. Now the fifth wheel has a great living space, but we have to park those outside of the parks typically. Not all the time, but most of the time. But with this, we've been able to get into almost anything we wanted to. And that is the pro of this, is the flexibility and the places we can fit and explore.
This is a 25-foot motorhome. It is not apples to apples to a 25-foot trailer or fifth wheel. I don't know if you have a 25-foot fifth wheel exists, but like it's not the same. You still have something towing it.
Yeah.
And so that adds extra length, and that does add up to get into these parks. And some national parks are counting total length now.
Yeah.
Again, another reason to maybe not tow something behind, even a motorhome. Angela Smith Walsh. Hi, Angela.
Hi.
Do you see yourselves full-timing in a drivable one day? Do you miss having your Jeep? And what are your favorite features of Lineage that your Solitude doesn't have? Well, good questions, a lot of these. Do you see yourselves full-timing in a drivable one day? I mean, just me and Marissa?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe. With the kids,
would be completely different if it was just us. But
with the 2 kids, living full-time in one, no way. No way. I'm not saying it can't be done. Kudos to you if you're doing it. Me and Marissa, maybe. I could see us being in something 25, 30 feet, being adventurous, going in and out of these places.
It'd be so fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
I could see that for sure. Do you miss having your Jeep? Not as much as to me as you think.
I thought I would. I'm going to be honest. Like, I'm such a Jeep girl. I love having a Jeep. But honestly, I'm so glad we weren't towing in this. It would take away our freedom and flexibility. And that's the whole point of the Class C. There might have been 2 things we couldn't do with the Jeep, but then there was like 50 things we could do because we were not towing the Jeep. So I definitely think the pros outweigh it.
What are the favorite features of the Lineage that your Solitude doesn't have? It has wheels. It's all in one. You can it's kind of neat that you can pull up to a stop, leave the engine running, hit the brake, go over there and punch the leveler button, get the slide out, and you don't even have to leave your vehicle.
Yeah.
Like the 5th wheel, there's no way unless you're sleeping in your truck. You have to get out and do some of those things and get the slides out and move back and forth and walk around. So if you're not hooking up the sewer, the water, the electric, to me that's one of the neatest things that maybe you know, if you're into safety and that kind of thing too, you don't even have to leave the vehicle. It's Ashley Irene asks, I'm sure there's a better way to ask this. It's a good question. Should someone be cautious about buying the first drivable model from a brand? Should people expect a lot of problems, and what is the support like? The feeling I'm getting is that, and I'm just me being totally honest because we've been in and around the RV industry, Grand Design is really going above and beyond and really going out of their way. I mean, they're not giving us this Lineage, and some of you may think that, but even for them to let us borrow this Lineage for 6 weeks with 2 kids, take it out, drive it on rough roads, the Pacific Northwest. They gave one to Corey and Jesse, said, hey, take it out, drive it to Alaska, bang it around, tell us what's right, tell us what's wrong. Just for them, if there's a company behind 2 families that say, hey, go do that, that's costing them a lot of money. They didn't have to do that. They could have just left it inside the bay all nice and neat, ran some tests, and then shot it out the door.
When you have someone that is really standing behind that product and saying, hey, tell us the good, the bad, what could we do to change this? What would RVers love to see? Or I think that's just such a cool thing that's taking place, and that's why we're so honored to be a part of this partnership where we can give that feedback and be a voice and an advocate for the RV community, and that a company is listening and taking that feedback back. That's huge. And so that's what's been such a cool opportunity, getting to take the Lineage out.
So we promised you we'd answer this at the beginning of the video, and I'll flash all these questions on the screen. But basically the question boils down to, how do you continue intimacy or have your own space with your significant other in such a small space?
Which is valid. That's a valid question.
We don't have a washer dryer for the washer dryer trick. We don't have
I wonder if people know the washer and dryer trick. I wonder if that's
we'll let you just
wildly known outside of the
We've got some other videos. You could probably Google it and it might come up in the RV.
Yeah, we'll let you figure out the washer and dryer hack on your own.
But the washer and dryer hack, we don't have a separate bedroom, but this is probably the main hack we use for this, is
locking the door and keeping them outside.
Yeah. Hey buddy, I need you to stay outside for just a minute, okay? So the way this is designed, and this is a king bed, like, kudos on the bed, Grand Design.
What's so funny is the nights that the curtain goes up, you know what that means.
Corey and Jesse joked this was the Iron Curtain.
The Iron Curtain.
You do not
cannot
open the curtain. You do not go past the curtain. It is the Iron Curtain back here in the back.
This is real life, and I know this is like real questions people have, and just know, like, yeah, it's not ideal. It's not the perfect situation, but for 6 weeks, like, we can make anything work. And we've done this as we've went overseas and done other things. So it's like, it's something as simple as a curtain sometimes. And that gives you just that extra privacy that you need, where you feel like you're in your own separate space.
We hope this video has been helpful for you. If you have more questions, let us know your questions in the comments below. And then also, I'm gonna link to another video we did after we had the Mini Winnie in California, where we answered a lot of questions about that as well. And if you wanna check that video out, click here or click the description below.